Wilber-Price is a nationwide agency in Ohio. John Wilber, the principal, and Dan Chadwell is the operations manager, and I've had the opportunity to start working with them last year. I was on a conversation with Dan recently, and he shared some things that as a fellow agency owner, you're going to want to hear. Join me back in about 10 seconds, and let's see what Dan Chadwell has to say about Symphony for Wilber-Price Insurance. Dan, I want to thank you for being here today, and particularly for some of the, I think, exciting things that you're sharing about what's happening with your agency and with Symphony. Would you let everyone know just a real quick kind of where did you come from? How long have you been at Wilber-Price? And just let everybody get a bit of an idea of who you are.
Yeah, sure, Tom. I've spent the last 20+ years in sales and marketing, mostly in the paper, plastics, and rubber industry. So I am new to the insurance industry within the last 9 months. So
okay.
John Wilber at Wilber-Price wanted to bring someone from the outside to get a fresh perspective on the business and have a look at the business from outside the insurance world.
You know, I think we talked about it last year. Folks from outside the industry like you are, I think, are really where the answers are going to come from, because it's changing so much and so fast that your perspective on things is a real breath of fresh air, and I think it's exactly what the agency needs.
I appreciate that, and I tell you, coming into the insurance world, it's been a learning experience, but it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed it.
Well, I know we've been working with Symphony here for a few months, and you and I were talking about some of the changes and just what you've seen take place in the agency since we started working together. And I want to ask, what's the most important objective that when you started out wanting to come from Symphony, what's the most important thing that you were looking forward to that has actually produced what kind of results?
So when I stepped into my role at Wilber-Price, we had 6 locations, and the locations were spread out through Southern Ohio. So the first thing that I wanted to bring to the organization is employee connectivity, because we were all, each location, when I joined the organization, I found kind of had their own objectives and their own thought processes and their own ways of doing things. We didn't really have a uniformed way to go to market. So my main objective was to find a uniform way that we could all go to market and look and talk the same as an organization. Okay.
How have you seen Symphony help connect those goals and make it happen?
So as I mentioned, being in sales and marketing for 20+ years and with some large corporations, Symphony is probably one of the most powerful tools I've come across. It eliminates any guesswork that the employee may have. It eliminates any guesswork that a supervisor may have when looking at an employee, because it provides you a platform to have a conversation and set long-term goals for your organization, short and long-term goals for your organization that are black and white. And anytime you remove the gray and you can manage to be to the black and white of the business, and there's clarity from your employee's perspective, I don't know what else you could ask for from an employer.
Yeah, I know one of the things you've done, it's a really unique approach that you have your staff gaining knowledge in some areas and training other staff. And that's actually a KPI for you, correct?
It is, yeah. So what we do is every Wednesday, let me reset. At the beginning of the quarter, we put out a list of, let's say, 12 to 15 objectives that we want to train the employees on for that quarter. And then we send those 15 objectives out to the employees, and they can each pick 2 that they would like to learn about and train to.
Okay.
So there being 12 weeks in a quarter, they come up with 2 each because there's 6 service reps, and they put together a half-hour presentation, a PowerPoint, and then they actually train the other employees on that Wednesday morning call about the subject that they picked.
Can you give me an idea of what some of the subject might be?
It could be anywhere from knowing more about E&O claims to learning more about a product that one of our carriers offer, to learning about SEO marketing.
Okay,
so it's a wide range of topics.
It's a pretty wide variety of topics.
Absolutely. What we try to do is we try to provide topics that are going to help move the business forward, but also try to provide a wide range of products that we could find that a employee is interested in, and something that they really want to learn about. So we don't limit it just to insurance per se. It could be about marketing. It could be about search engine optimization. It could be about business leadership. It could be about any range of products, but something that will help the business move forward.
One of the things I know you were looking for out of the staff training is to create more of a culture of ownership, the idea of job owners, not job renters. Do you find that taking that responsibility to learn and to download that information to everyone else, has that helped create more of a culture of ownership?
Absolutely. And again, that's why I think it's such a powerful tool, and using it, the training segment, using it the way that we're currently using it, it's been a very interactive way of our folks to work together, because sometimes they'll team up to train on a subject. So we might have someone in one location work with someone in another location. So now they're interacting on a weekly basis to put together their program. And so it's opened up communications, and it's brought the team closer together.
One of the questions that I get a lot is, how are my staff going to respond to KPIs? Are they going to see it as micromanaging? Are they going to see it as additional work? Yeah, is staff going to accept it or push back? I know you've had some growing with your folks in that, but overall, would you say your staff would say, yeah, Symphony's a benefit, it's something I welcome, or do they consider it just one more thing they have to do?
That's a great question, and that answer to that question has evolved over the last few months. So just like anything that's worthwhile, there is going to be a time requirement up front to get it implemented and to be explained properly to your employees, and to make sure that they understand what your overall vision is. But once you have it implemented, and once you get a rhythm on how to use the product, it is very powerful, because when you have an employee that gets up every morning, comes to work, and they clearly understand what their goals are for that day, clearly understand what their objectives are to help the business move forward, and how they fit into their role, and then how that benefits them and the organization, both financially and from a growth perspective. Again, as an employee, I don't know what else you can ask for from your employer. You have a clear path, you have clear objectives, you understand what you are doing on a daily basis, how it is affecting your business in a positive manner, and it gives you a purpose to your role. And then that's huge. You have to have purpose in what you're doing for work every day.
If you were sitting down talking to, now you're chief operations officer, correct?
Correct.
With Wilber-Price. John is involved in the agency, but you're really the one on point leading the way in Symphony. If there's an agency owner right now that's saying, I don't know, how much of my time is this really going to help me increase revenue? If What would you say to an owner that is asking those questions, wondering, should I come on board with Symphony? What would you have to say to that person?
I'd say call me. Call
Okay.
me, because I would tell you, from my perspective, I've managed large sales forces before, and I've been in large organizations. And now being at Wilber-Price, we have 16 employees, so it's a smaller organization, but I guess larger on the insurance
Right.
agency side. If you want to remove, as an owner, if you want to remove any question or frustration out of your day, and you want your employees to all be marching in the same direction and have clear-cut goals and vision of where you want to take the business,
Okay.
I don't know how you don't implement this product. It's that powerful. And Tom's not paying me to do this or say this, but I truly believe that this is one of the most powerful tools I've come across.
Well, Dan, first, I want to thank you for the opportunity of working with you and your folks. I was able to be there last year and get to know the staff and get to know you and John just a little bit. But thank you for the offer of someone giving you a call. I have no doubt that we will have folks that will take you up on that. And I want to thank you for your time today, and look forward to what 2020 is going to bring for us.
All the thanks is on our part, Tom. You've made our agency better. You've made us more effective and more efficient. And so really the thanks goes to you. So thank you.
Well, appreciate it. Dan, have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Tom.
Okay.